Just hopped off an interview call with Frederick. He's been crushing it and actually closing on an offer now. But he actually gave some good feedback on, the whole reaching out to business owners, how to actually land your first sales gig. So I wanted to actually have Frederick on and, kind of if you want to explain the role you're on now, kind of, what the commissions look like, maybe even the process, and then how you reached out, that would be awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I think just looking a bit into like your personal interests is something that's gonna help. I was interested in like business and everything, so I eventually reached out to a bunch of people like through Instagram, Facebook groups, and Facebook directly from the business pages, and I was just like, hey, listen, I like what you're doing over there. I see like a bit of the structure of your business. I'd be interested to potentially work with you as a commission-based only setter, closer, whatever you're looking for. And yeah, I actually first of all I applied as a closer, and they were like, yeah, we do have a process of like starting everybody as a setter just to see a bit of your like skills and everything. So I was like, okay, fine, no problem. And eventually hopped on a call with the guy. I told him a bit about my experience. I told him I've been through training and a bit about my past couple gigs, and he was interested. So we had kind of like a bit of a tryout period, and basically I sold myself to him. Like I was like, listen, I'm only gonna take commissions only. I like to get paid for what I bring to the company. So they were super open to it, and yeah, eventually we got started with things. We had, I think, like a 2 week trial period. I started as a phone setter, and then I eventually moved to like hybrid after like a month and a half or so. And eventually now I'm closing full time. And basically it's just about like always trying to learn the skills and show the business you're working with. Like if you want to eventually get to higher positions, like show the interest, show like your ambitions, just something's like show that you actually want it, and they're gonna be super happy to see that you're a driven person, and they're going to be happy to promote you to different positions. And the fact that it's commission only, like, okay, I have to bring the results on the table. If I can show them that I can bring the results on the table, then there shouldn't be any consequences of getting a higher position. So I also recommend starting as a setter because I actually started as like a hybrid closer first, and I didn't knew what I was doing. So maybe that was a big thing that hold me back for a little while when I started. But yeah, just learning the ropes as a setter and still having the potential to start earning commissions and stuff, and then eventually move up. I think that's the way to go.
Oh, that's huge, man. I know you mentioned on our interview, maybe more support on, the business pipeline and everything like that. I know in some of the modules we talk about, like honestly, I feel like the best opportunities are the ones that we seek out ourselves. You did mention you kind of have to sell yourself though. Like, are you sending like video messages to them? Like, how do you kind of carry yourself at the interview? Like, what are some maybe tips for getting that first foot in the door for someone just starting out?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say just treat whether it's the business owner or the guy you're talking to, just treat him like a prospect. So you just have to sell yourself to him, like have show him what you got, the kind of skills you got and everything. I don't think like a resume is necessarily always the way to go. Just be like, hey, let's do a role play. I'm gonna show you what I can do, and you tell me if that works for you. So just having the initiative to kind of show him the what you can bring to the company instead of just asking for, can I get a job? Can I get a role? That's gonna be like the major difference between like the roles you're gonna get and the people that won't be interested, because it's at the end of the day it sells. So you have to sell yourself, you have to approach them so they see the benefit of actually hiring you. And yeah, I think that's just the way to go. You just have to provide value to them, and then eventually all you ask in return is a great position.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point you bring up is like leading from value because this is even on the sales call, right? If someone doesn't see value, then like why are they going to hop in the sales call? So I think if you position yourself to whoever you're reaching out to for the business opportunity, right? For either a setter role or a closer role, if it's very clear, hey, just working on commission basis, I see you have all these leads. it doesn't seem like they're being contacted fast enough, and I feel like you're not converting, that's where I come in. I feel like that's going to help you really stand out from other applicants. So,
Absolutely.
right, that's a great point you bring up.
Absolutely. And eventually I speak with the guy I spoke initially, and he told me like, yeah, there's so many people who's just asking like, hey, can I work for you? Can I work for you? Can I work for you? And just the fact that I was kind of like, hey, I don't remember exactly how I approached him, but I was like, hey, I've been seeing your ads for a little while now. I can see like your business is going great. I'm sure you have a bunch of leads coming in, and I actually got into their pipeline to kind of see a bit how they worked out things. And I was like, yeah, it took about like 5 days because before I had a first call and everything. And I was just wondering if like you could use another member on your team to like call these leads faster and get people into the pipeline and rolling. So that's kind of like what from what he told me, he said like that's what stood out, and eventually that's how I got a role. So yeah.
So that's really interesting that you actually went through their funnel. So can you kind of elaborate on that more? Because I think even beginners just getting into this space may not even understand what that
Yeah,
means.
yeah,
Touch
absolutely.
on that.
So I saw their ads, and I just wanted to see like a bit what's their product, like get informed about what they actually do. Because if you just go there and you ask for a position not knowing what they do, they're just gonna be like, come on, dude. You have to do a little bit of research. So I saw one of their ads. I opted in into their ads. So I watched a video, I gave them my number, my email, and they called me. So I kind of wanted to see a bit like how, well, first of all, what was the offer, how they were working and stuff. And that's kind of how I got a bit of a better vision of how they were operating, what's the product, how do they work in general. And that was kind of how I based my approach to the guy who actually ended up hiring me.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I think that's crazy that they weren't calling leads for 5 days. You noticed that, and then you're like, "Hey, would it be helpful if we called these leads faster?" Do you guys feel like you would make more money? Probably,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
So
cool.
yeah, I kind of went that way. And like I don't want to set unrealistic expectations, like saying if you do this you're gonna get every jobs. Like there's always some people that's gonna have full teams, or they just don't need anyone else on the team. So you just have to move on, keep doing the outreach. It's just like sales. Not every prospect is gonna close, not every business owner is gonna hire you, but eventually maybe it's for the best. You're gonna find something better. And yep.
That's awesome, man. So kind of just breaking this down for people also getting into this space. I've talked with even a few students inside the program, and they're like, yeah, Kikoa, I've reached out to like 5 businesses, nobody's responded, I'm really discouraged, right? And then I'm thinking in my head, back when I started my agency, I'd reach out to 300 400 people every single day, right? And still no one would respond, right? So can you kind of touch on even like the volume that you had to do to land the initial role, and then how maybe even your more targeted approach where you're actually going through their sales funnel, things like that could help you have to reach out to less people and get a role a lot faster.
hmm Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did a lot of volume in the way that I started just asking people, are you looking for sales rep? Are you looking for seller? Are you looking for closer? And they get a bunch of these. So I was noticing like, okay, I'm not getting answers. I'm not approaching them the right way. So eventually I just started tweaking a couple things like, hey, I got a quick question. Do you have 5 minutes? And then just like picking their curiosity to eventually like pitch myself to them was something that helped me a bit more. But I think overall, I might have reached out to like something 100 or maybe 50 companies at first, like with that basic strategy of just finding companies, sending them a quick message with no context at all. And eventually I just found like companies that were more interesting that I actually opted in their funnels. I saw a bit how their work, and I kind of adapted my approach with that experience to eventually pitch my services, if you want to call it that way. So yeah, just do volume, approach them, like take the time to do research. Like quality is better than quantity. So do a bit of research, try to adapt your approach to them specifically, and that's just gonna make you stand out eventually.
Sweet, man. Love that. Well, cool. I think that that kind of wraps it up. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on that side?
No, I think that's all pretty much.
Cool. Well, sweet guys. Hopefully this helps you in landing a sales role here faster. I think the personalized approach and actually understanding the business that you're trying to, land a position with is going to be huge. So I hope you guys get tons of value from this, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.